Marvin Heemeyer was a normal American lad. He worked as a welder in his muffler repair shop in Granby, Colorado. His friends all described him as a very likable, friendly person. He was the type of guy who would take a bullet to help other people. Marvin, in 1992, purchased 2 acres of land for roughly $42,000 so that he could build his muffler repair shop. But later, a family named the Docha family approached Marvin and requested to buy his acres of land for roughly $250,000 so the Docha family could build a concrete plant. Marvin, however, kept increasing the price as high up as to $375,000, but the deal fell through, and the Docha family decided not to buy Marvin's acres of land, but instead decided to rezone the land around his muffler repair shop. Marvin was included in the rezoning discussion, but it didn't matter what Marvin said. The rezoning application was granted, and the land that was rezoned was land right by Marvin's shop, land that Marvin and his customers had to use to access his shop. Marvin tried his best to stop the rezoning, but construction of the concrete plant started anyway. Marvin decided instead that he would reconstruct some of his own land to make a new road to his shop. He bought the materials needed for construction of his road, like asphalt, concrete, shovels, tools, etc., and a bulldozer. Marvin requested permission from the city to build the road. The city, however, denied his request. This meant that customers and even Marvin himself had no easy way of accessing his shop. Marvin's shop had water and sewer lines running under the concrete plant that was being constructed, and they were cut. Marvin now had no running water or sewage connection. The lines continued to be cut for months. Not only that, but Marvin was fined $2,500 for not being connected to the sewer lines. Marvin's world was falling apart around him. He felt everything was against him, and one day he started on a new project. He took the bulldozer that he had bought to construct the road, a nice Komatsu bulldozer model D355A, and with his welding skills, he started to construct and work on what would become the Killdozer. Marvin turned his bulldozer into an unstoppable, impenetrable fortress. Marvin constructed this armored sarcophagus to place over the bulldozer. He constructed it in a way that when it was first placed on top of the dozer, it would not come off easily. He made the armor out of a layer of metal plates, then a layer of concrete, and then another layer of metal plates. Some places this armor was as thick as 12 inches. The Killdozer had 3 gun ports, one for a 50 cal rifle, one for a 308 semi-automatic rifle, and the last for a 22 LR rifle. Each of these ports were also protected with steel plates. 1.5 years after starting construction, he finished it. He was never caught, despite people actually seeing the Killdozer in person. Marvin started to believe that God blessed him and protected him from being caught. 2004 was a terrible year for Marvin. He gave up on his muffler shop and sold it to a trash company, and he was given 6 months to move his things away. Marvin's father passed away, and he caught his wife cheating on him with another man. Marvin had had enough. He had reached his breaking point. So, on June the 4th, 2004, Marvin entered his bulldozer, lowered the sarcophagus, and disengaged the crane. There was no way out, but no way in. Marvin fired up the engine and started his rampage in his Killdozer. Marvin had written down a list of names of people that wronged him and started this rampage by destroying the concrete plant. Marvin used his gun ports to fire at propane tanks to cause further and even more destruction. There was nothing in Marvin's way that could stop him. Guns did nothing. Cody Donchev even tried to stop Marvin himself by assaulting the Killdozer in a tractor scraper, but Marvin simply pushed it away with his Killdozer. The city even considered contacting the National Guard to get them to fly in with an Apache helicopter to take out the Killdozer with Hellfire missiles, or at least take it out with the Javelin anti-tank missile. The city did not go through with this plan though, for the safety of the civilians. But all things must end eventually, and so did Marvin's rampage. While he was destroying a hardware store, one of the tracks of the Killdozer broke through into the cellar, rendering the Killdozer immobile. Completely stuck. Not only that, but the radiator was also badly damaged and was leaking fluid. A SWAT team surrounded Marvin and his Killdozer. They said that they heard a single faint gunshot from inside the Killdozer. Marvin had realized he was stuck, and that the SWAT team would eventually get inside. So he reached for a handgun he had with him, put it up against his head, and fired, taking the easy way out. In total, Marvin had caused $7 million worth of damage. The cops tried to get into the Killdozer using explosives, but after a third failed attempt, they gave up and decided to cut through the place instead. After several hours, they managed to cut through and retrieve Marvin's dead body. Some people despised Marvin for what he had done, but others praised him for rising against the state while rampaging. Marvin made sure that no one was harmed, and no one was. And that was the story of the Killdozer.